Hello friends, you are welcome to this session. Session C of this program is the practical session. And in this session, we will focus on the following analysis and their brief interpretations. The analysis are as listed: simple regression, multiple regression. We have mentioned this earlier during the introductory class. And so this session will be broken into a series of small sessions to address a particular challenge, a particular need at each time. Okay, so this the first thing we want to do is to start off with the simple regression, and that will require us to let you know how to start up Eviews. And the Eviews we have, if you have already installed, there are different versions. What the version we are using here is version 9. If you have get it on your system, like we said earlier, if you don't have it available on your system, you try to buy it online, or you can contact us for direction on how to get it. Now we've clicked on the icon of Eviews, it opens up to us. And what is opened this way, it comes with a dialog box. What you are seeing here is a dialog box trying to say we should create Eview work file and some other things. If you are already working on something and you have saved it before, you have opportunity to trace those things here and just click on it, the data will open. However, permit me to close it up so that we can start like from the scratch using the menu bar. So I close it. Now this is the plain thing you see on Eviews. We try to the Eviews doesn't have a spreadsheet like Excel. The Excel file we'll be working with is this file here that has to do with the year, the GDP, and exports. Okay, this sheet you are seeing here, where the data are recorded, is called a spreadsheet. Eviews doesn't have a spreadsheet of its own. So once you want to start, one of the first things you will quickly do is to quickly create a spreadsheet for your Eviews. And to do that, you get to the menu bar, you get to File, you click on File. Then, because it's a new work file we want to start up, just like a typical carpenter who wants to start his day job, you bring out your tools on the worksheet. In Eviews, it is considered a work file. So we open a work file here by clicking on this icon here. We go to File, New, and then Work File. This same thing can be handled using the shortcuts. The shortcuts here, Control N, we do the same thing. So if we click on work file, it opens this work file for us. Okay, that's great. So but alternatively, let me quickly close it. If I hold my control and press N on my keyboard, it quickly gets me to the same place. Now this work file comes with a dialog box where we need to define some things. First, it wants us to declare the work file structure type we want to use. Is it a dated file like time series that is treated using a regular frequency? That is what we want to use in this training. But if you click on this drop down arrow here, it will show you other available options like the unstructured or undated. For someone who used survey and collected data from people, once you click on you use undated because it's not structured data, then the other option available is balance panel structure. Now, so we get back to using the regular one, the dated one. Okay, we have frequency type. The frequency we are going to use, like I showed us the data earlier, is time series, is an annual time series. But if you click on the arrow here, you also see other available options. Okay, I need you to follow us gradually. Okay, so this is other available options. So since we are using annual, we leave it at default. Otherwise, there is multiple year, there is semi-annual, there is quarterly, there is monthly, there is bi-monthly, and all down to daily or customized weekly kind of data. So, but we are using annual, so we keep it at default. Now, for us to create a work file, a spreadsheet in Eviews, we need to define the starting date. Since it's a regular frequency data we are using, we need to declare the starting date and then the end date. How do we know the starting date? You go to the data you want to use and check out the starting date. This is a typical file that could be extracted from the statistical bulletin of Central Bank of Nigeria. Okay, and in most cases it comes in this form. Now we still get back to this, but let's see, the starting year here is 1970, and then the end year is 2012. So we note that, and we come here to define it. The starting year is what again? 1970. You got it correct. You are brilliant. 1970. Now, and then the end year is what? 2000 and what? Yeah, 2012. You got it too. You see, you are brilliant. Now, at this point, all we need to do is just to click OK. I bet you if you can do what we have done so far, you are on the pathway towards becoming a professional econometrician, right? Of course, in terms of application. So we click OK. And when we click OK, watch what will happen here. It will create a work file for us. Okay, now see, now the work file is created. It's untitled because we have not saved it. Okay, and the work file is created. And it came up with two important things you need to notice here. But before that, look at the range and the sample. What do they mean? The range here is telling us the range of data available. The spreadsheet we have created is going to start from 1970 to 2012. The sample coincidentally is the same here. But if we are doing a particular study or research, we may decide to use a smaller sample in a particular test instead of using all that we have included. So if we have need to do that, then you adjust this sample. So the sample here is adjustable while the range is static. Okay, now this work file came out with something which is we have an icon here, the beta. This is a, call it beta 0, beta 1, that intercepts that thing we discussed earlier, that when somebody's consumption is a function of investment, is a function of income, that income should be, if income is 0, then it will still not affect consumption, will still be on. So that basic thing is the intercept here. Okay, and then we have the residual, that mu we declared earlier. So these are the two things we come. Any other data we add on this work file will be showing here too. Okay, now let's get back to Excel file. There's something I need you to learn on this Excel sheet. You see the Excel sheet, some of the data here seems to be missing. You see hash. This hash that is not a problem. It's only an indication that the space of the column is not large enough for us to see the data in question. And so we need to, if you want to see the whole data, you just expand it and you see the whole data there. Okay, you just expand it, that way you see the whole data. Okay, yes. So if you just open up this thing, the column, enlarge it, you see the file. So it's not a problem, right? Good, I'm sure you got that. So it is the same for all of them, in case you see any Excel file and is that way. So the first thing we need to quickly do is to highlight this data and copy it, then go to Eviews and paste it there. Now, how do we copy? You, of course, if you are used to basic Microsoft, you should be able to copy this set we are looking at here. You can hold your Shift key and drag your your cursor until you have highlighted everything. That's fine. Alternatively, you can keep your cursor where you want to copy, and then hold Shift key and Control key and move your arrow. If I move my arrow towards the right, the cursor will stop. It will highlight everything and stop where the data ends. That's one of the beauties of Excel. So if I click it this way, you see. Now watch again. I hold shift and control key, then I click the arrow going this direction. Straight it gets to that place. Even if the data is in hundreds, and you do this, it will stop where the data ends. Now then I can use arrow down to select I can use arrow down to select the remaining one. Now see what is happening. I don't need to select the year, because on our EViews, if you want to open where the spreadsheet will be, you get to quick on the menu bar, the main menu bar. If you click on that quick, a good number of things on the menu bar will be using them, but we'll introduce each at a particular time. So if you get to quick, and then you get to empty group edit series. If empty group edit series, I'll take it again. You get to quick, empty group edit series, you click on it, it will open that spreadsheet we have defined, and it started from the year we declared 1970, and it stopped the year where we stopped, 2012. I'm sure you have this data too. So if you have declared your own, just follow what we are doing. Monkey see, monkey do. That's the tactics, right? Good. Now so what we need to do is to copy the data and paste it here. But you see, this data already has the year. So in what we want to copy now, we don't need the year. So I move it, then I move down, I copy it. If I use you can use right click and select copy, or you use Ctrl C to copy. Once the copy is activated, you see these white things looking like ants running around the data set. It shows you that the copy is activated. So we minimize the Excel file and come to Eview here. Now you see the challenge, they don't have the same structure. If we try to paste it here, it's not going to work out for us. So what do? Well, first of all, transpose this. If you are lucky, the data you are working with is in horizontal form, in column form, is easier for you to work with. But if it comes this way, the way most data sets from CBN bulletin comes, or many other statistical bulletin comes, you can transpose them, and it's a very simple thing to do. So if I copy all of this and open a new sheet, see where you have plus, I'll click on this plus. Already have some things here which we're going to use in this training, but see where we have plus. I click plus, it gives me a new sheet called sheet 4. So on this sheet 4, instead of just pasting, Ctrl V, I could right click or come here where we have paste. If I click on it, it drops some of the different forms of paste options for me. Then I select this one that looks like transpose. Once I select it, it has transposed the data for me. So we have moved from data that is looking like it's horizontal in nature to a data that looks vertical in nature. This is now in column form, which is the form we are going to use and then paste in Eviews. So now we can comfortably copy our GDP. Remember what we said, if I expand this, you see the whole data. Okay, and export, import. So we are copying GDP and import, and we want to paste it here. But you see the challenge, if that's where a lot of people have have a lot of challenge. Now I need you to watch what happens now. If I just paste here, the variable names of I'm working with will not show. Okay, and I'll show you why and how to avoid that trouble. Now let's paste. We'll right click, and we say paste. Right now there's trouble. The variable name GDP and imports is not reflected here. It has to, the system had to use a generic name called serial, because it's time serial 1, serial 01, serial 02, and that's the name dropped here. But this is not what we need. Okay, So permit me to close this and start afresh. I'll show you where that error is coming from. I can also delete these ones. I highlighted them and right clicked on the highlighted variables. Then I click delete. I said yes to all. I've cleared that. So remember how we opened our work file, the spreadsheet? How we went to quick, right? Empty group edit series, it opened up. Now instead of pasting like we did earlier, which denied us the variable names, you check here, there is a position here, there is something, there is a gap here. If you click on this arrow, it will show you where the variable name will appear, but this is how it appears by default. So before you paste your data, come here and click this arrow up. Now we have seen the space. This is the space where the variable name is supposed to be, and so I will right click there and paste. Beautiful. You see our data is there, GDP, and then import. And so in this exercise, what we want to do is to check out the effect of export on GDP in this economy. Okay, the effect of export on GDP in the economy. Remember our model we specified earlier. This is the model we are trying to look at here. But instead of export here, we have imports. That's the data we are using. Okay, later we're going to do the multiple one, but we want to do the simple regression, and like the name implies, it's actually as simple as ABC. So having done this, you can minimize this data or actually close it up totally. If you close it, it's already in the system, so you have nothing to worry about. So I can actually close it up, say yes, close this. If I need to open it again, all I need to do is to come here and highlight the data. If I click the first one and hold shift or control and click the second one, I'll right click on it and ask it to open as group. Okay, if I ask the system to open it as group, the system will, let me do it this way so you can see what I'm doing. If I say open as group, it gives me the data set again. Okay, now this data set, if I try to edit anything here, it's not going to work because it's freezed. You see there is freezing here. If I need to modify anything here, I will need to unfreeze it by clicking edit plus or minus. Okay, now watch, I click on this. It has allowed me opportunity to be able to modify something here. Okay, this value is at least known. This is 990.1, so we can actually make it 100 or 10,000 and click it, which will allow us to change it. But that is not what we need here. Okay, so we return to the original data, and you can also remove it from editing. Okay, I'm sure you've acquired that skill, so we can quickly close this. So why this is important is that if we have a need to add a new variable or make correction on the data, you quickly click on that and edit your data set. Okay, now permit me to close this. So how do we do our simple regression? The simple regression, if you want to do it, all you need to do is to come to quick. Okay, see where we have estimate equation. So under quick, the main file, estimate equation, if I click on it, it will open for me another beautiful dialog box. This dialog box, what we are seeing here, this is where you have to define your equation. This is where you determine the method you want to use for your analysis, whether it's ordinary least square or different other options that are available. We may have to get back to this. Okay, but let's quickly do a simple regression. We are using OLS, and then this is where you could adjust your sample if you want to change it different from your range. but let's keep it at default. So what do? We enter our dependent variable, which is GDP in this case, dependent variable, and then we add that our intercept, that first beta. Okay, we add it, which stands for C here, so we just type C. So you just give space, and the system acknowledges that you are working with a different variable once you have allowed space. Then what else do we add? Import. Okay, so this is basically what we want to analyze. Somebody will say, why not we add residue? No, you don't need to add that. The system will automatically generate it. You state your model like it looks like the mathematical equation we stated when we were discussing earlier. So all you need to do is just to click OK. I click OK. It gives us a very simple, beautiful result here. This is simple regression result. It shows you your dependent variable, which is GDP. It shows you the method you used, least square. It shows you the date you did this, okay, and the timing when you did the analysis. It shows you the sample you worked with and the number of observations you have. Now, under the variable, it shows you your beta. This is your beta 0 or beta 1, that intercept, and then it shows you your dependent variable, and then the next column here is your coefficient. The coefficient is the estimate. This is the estimate of the intercept. This is the estimate of the effect of import. We will discuss them in details. Then we have standard error, we have t statistics, we have probability value, and we're going to use all of these at certain points, and then some other details here. So this is where we want to stop this particular video, this particular class, just to show you how to run simple regression. Can we quickly recap again? Let me close this result and see if you can tell me what to do. So what do? You click quick, right? You click estimate, and then you put in your dependent variable, you put in the constant, and then you put in the independent variable, which in this case is import, and then you determine the method you want to use, and then you click OK. It gives you the result. So thank you very much. I'm sure you're already enjoying this class. We'll meet you in the next class and take it up from here. Congratulations, you are becoming an expert in econometrics analysis. Thank you.